You're alright, folks. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. It's great to see you. I hope you're doing good. We move into day 4 over in Germany and Switzerland. We're going to touch on these matches very shortly. Before we do, like the video if you would, get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're not. I'd appreciate that. Going to try and see if we can get around anywhere near that 1.2 mark by the end of the French Open. I'll be rather pleased with that. See what you can do. Get yourself involved. I'd love to have you. First things first, how did we manage in day 3? I had to go on Commissania to beat Echeverry. No dice there, unfortunately. I was rather disappointed in the performance he put in. Look, this guy will beat Zverev in straight sets and then can't even take a set off Echeverry, who's winning around 35% of his games so far this season. Yeah, it's a poor one. Disappointing to be on the wrong side of that. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I haven't got much more to say on it. It is what it is. Well, yeah, get yourself involved. Let me know. Did you win? Did you lose? Did you come close? Share with the group. Don't be shy. And now that's out the way, we shall get cracking with these over in Switzerland. First off, providing the weather holds up. Got Taylor Fritz, Quinton Hallis. I think this could be a lot closer, maybe even an upset spot. I don't know, it's a big ask, but I think it could be a lot closer than what the odds are currently suggesting. Taylor Fritz, barely 1.2. Now on paper you'd look at this and you'd say Taylor Fritz probably 10 times out of 10. But just going off what I seen last time out over in Rome against Marcus Giron, absolutely not. I wouldn't be going anywhere near this guy tomorrow. Absolutely not. And it's a shame too. It's such a shame because you know Taylor Fritz wins this. You know he should. Quinton Hallis is tricky, man. He's a sleeper. I doubt either one is going to be able to hit through the other. When I say that, I mean, I don't know, I can't see many rallies. I can't see it being full of rallies. I can't see it being that exciting of a game, to be honest with you. A lot of short points. I don't know, man. If Quinton Hallis can turn up and he can just stay behind that serve, he'll definitely cover that spread. I guarantee that. This is just one of them tournaments that no one's looking at. Is Taylor Fritz going to go all out to get this one done when it's just before the Roland Garros? I'm not too sure. But then on the other hand, you could say these players are looking to get a couple of performances under the belt leading into the French Open, so you do with that what you will. At 1.2, I wouldn't be going anywhere near Taylor Fritz. Not at that price. Who's up next? Arthur Rinderknech, Hubert Hurkacz. Played each other 3 times before. Hubert Hurkacz has won all 3. And I'd expect he gets this one done too. Last time out, over in the Montreal Masters, 2-1. All on the hard courts as well. They've never played each other on the clay. Arthur Rinderknech pulling off the upset against Kekmanovic yesterday. Say something about that. He played good as well. Strong behind the serve, like we mentioned. These courts do tend to favour the bigger server as opposed to other clay surfaces. But are you going to be able to outserve Hubert Hurkacz? I'm not so sure. How can you outserve that which is outservable? He looked decent against Arthur Cazot again. He really did. Probably a bit more impressed with Arthur Rinderknech. You have to admit, not only wins but really good performances have been rather few and far between for this guy this season. I think it's a big ask. I really do. I think Hubie gets this done. Slightly better on the odds than what they were against Arthur Cazot. Call it 1.3 for Hubert Hurkacz. He's been playing well lately. You've got to give him that. He had a decent run last time out in Rome, and he seems to have carried it over into this one. Probably an over, maybe a tie-break. It's just going to be a serve out, innit? If the two of them, if Arthur Rinderknech can serve as well as he did today, especially in that first set, it's probably an over, probably a tie-break. maybe look, I don't know, Artur Rindenich, first set handicap or something. I'm not too sure. Maybe on the spread. Hubie's a lot better than this guy. He is. Even though Hubie's just sort of crawling back to fitness, crawling back to where he should be. Artur Rindenich, even though he beat Kekmanovic quite impressively too, he's still not back in form. It's still rather too soon to say with this guy, so I'd expect Hubert Hurkacz to get that one done, probably in straight sets, however he wants to go about it. 1.3, it's not too bad. You could stick that on your parlay, I would imagine. And then next off, we've got Matteo Arnaldi, Fabian Madison. Ugh. Fucking ugh. What am I to do with this? I'd probably just go with Fabian Madison. I would. Although they've played each other twice before, both of them going the way of the Italian. Both on the clay too. Fuck. Damn. I don't know what to do with this one. I think Fabian Madison's been playing better lately. He has, man. I mean, I don't know how long this is going to haunt him for. Maybe not much longer. Hopefully not much longer for his sake. But that game against Batista Agut was 2 games ago. It was 1 game ago. Well, prior to the Gaston win, but come this, it'll be 2. That bugged the fuck out of me. That really, I don't know. That still bugs me, haunts me, you may say. Such a bad performance, that. Such a bad performance. He looked decent against Hugo Gaston, I'll give him that, but that doesn't hold much weight, if you want my opinion on it. Fabian Madison, what did he do to Carousel today? 6-1, 6-1, oh my god. I didn't watch it. I don't think I needed to, but I watched like the last 10 minutes just because there was nothing else on. Is that the levels? That is sheer levels, isn't it? It must be. Oh my god, Everton just looked 100 times better. He hit the ball so much harder, faster, just everything was better. He was fantastic. I'd love to say a performance like that would fill you full of confidence, but, don't want to take anything away from Carousel, but I feel like he definitely met his match there. A fair play for him as well, just like we mentioned, qualifying for the tour for the first time. He's my age as well. That's an achievement in itself, but you're getting whooped about like that, fuck me. That was an absolute beatdown from Fabian Madison. He's got more than enough to get past Matteo Arnaldi, in my opinion. I would rather, even though he hasn't done it in his previous 2 meetings, that was in 2022, last time out. I think a lot's changed since then, a lot of them. Well, both of these have come on quite a lot, that's what I was going to say. I like Fabian Madison, man, I do. I think he's got just a little bit more to his game. I do. Takes a few more risks just when he needs to. Maybe just a handful of shots more in the bag, as opposed to Matteo Arnaldi. He can be just a little bit robotic sometimes, can the Italian. Not in a bad way, that can boot next to you quite well sometimes, but you're talking 5 of his last 10. That explains a lot. It does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 4 in the last 10 for Fabian Madison too. There's not actually a lot to split these two apart. I'm just going off who didn't get fucking bullied by Batista Agut most recently. That's the only thing that's separating these two. And with that being said, I probably would just lean with Fabian Madison in this one and see what happens. Take him for a set. He should be good for at least 1. And then we have got, I'm probably looking forward to this one the most, we've got Alexei Popyrin and Jacob Fernley. Now obviously these have never played each other before. Depending who you're with and where you look, you can get either one as a dog. I've currently got Jacob Fernley at evens, 2.0 on the money. Now I imagine that's going to drop overnight. When I wake up and go to watch these games in the morning, I imagine this will be rather split down the middle, if it's not already by the time this comes out. thought Popperin looked alright against Nicolas Jarry. Nicolas Jarry's been a bit of a fucking stinker this year though. And although I say he looked alright 2-1, barely got past him. He struggled. He struggled quite some. Jacob Fairley, man. I said he'd beat Dusan Lazovic. I knew it. I knew he was going to beat him. You should be beating Dusan Lazovic 6-4, 6-1. Slapped him up. This is just the type of tournament that Jacob Fairley could go for a nice little run in. I wouldn't mind taking him at dog price there, at dog money. Alexei Popperin, I mean, I bet against him last time when he played Carlos Taberna and he ended up beating him in straight sets, but that's Carlos Taberna. And then Nicolas Jarry barely got past him. 6-4, 3-6, 7-5. I don't know, man. Alexei Popperin coming into this as a slight favourite as it stands. I think Jacob Fairley can beat him. I think I've seen more of him lately. He's played better. The games that I've seen, the wins I've seen, the performance that I've got from Jacob Fairley the past few months, pretty much just this season as a whole, I've been a lot more promising. Dare I say a lot more trustworthy? Maybe not. But while you're getting him at plus money, it would have to be Jacob Fairley there. It'd have to be. Take him for a set. I don't think this version of Popperin beats him in straight sets. I really don't. You've seen Jacob Fairley take out the likes of like Pavel Kotov, Dalin, Bu, Thomas Mahac, Fanini, Dusan Lazovic. Put in a decent game against Berrettini as well. Carbias Baena, straight sets, drilled him. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just being biased because he's a homeboy. I'm not too sure. I imagine a few years will probably think it is, but I just think he's better. The rankings may not suggest it, but he's closing in on the top 50 now. Is Jacob Fairley 25? Sorry, for Alexei Popperin. Has not been playing anything like a top 20 player this season. 7-11 on the year, 20-11 for Fairley, 8-4 on the clay, 5-4 for Popperin. Plus money, Jacob Fairley, take him for a set. You'll get decent odds for that. I might just take him on the money line. Could parlay this set with something else. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. If anything's pinned, it's pinned. If it's not, it's not. Well, then we'll talk about Fucsovics and Djokovic. Played each other 5 times over the years. Djokovic has won all 5 of them. There's been, the odd one has been a lot tougher than others. Well, a bit tougher than you'd expect, but ultimately Djokovic has just been able to get this one done every time. And I'm expecting more of the same today. Once again, how much can we expect from these top ranked players? I'm not so certain. He is on a 3-game losing streak. Djokovic, that's right. Got beat by Mensah in the final in Miami. That's alright, no shame in that. Bullied by Tabilo over in Monte Carlo, and then bullied by Matteo Arnaldi. My God, I'm losing my voice. Bullied by Arnaldi, both of them in straight sets. It's not good enough, is it? Not good enough. Fucsovics looked decent against Zizou Bergs. But even the game before that, he didn't even qualify for Rome. He got beat by Shevchenko. Djokovic should not be losing. I repeat, Djokovic should not be losing this game. But if he turns up and he gets beat, are we just going to use the excuse that, he's just looking ahead for the French Open? Because if that's the case, then why are you even here? Surely this has got to be for fitness, for reps. Djokovic gets this one done. Because you've got to at least win one game. You can't just turn up to a tournament pre-Grand Slam and then just fucking lose it. It's pointless. If you're not going to try, you may as well just not be here at this point anyway. It's got to be Djokovic. It has to be. I refuse to believe he's just going to turn up to the 250. To the 250 before the Roland Garros and just get fucking beasted in the first game. I refuse to believe it. 1.3. 1.3, ideal parlay piece if I do say so myself. And then we'll wrap this up over in Switzerland with Cam Norrie and Thomas Mahatch. Now, you know me, I would love to go with Thomas Mahatch in this one, but I was rather disappointed in that game against Tommy Paul. I say disappointed, I mean Tommy Paul played good over in Rome. I just thought Thomas Mahatch could have won that a couple of times over, let it slip through his fingers more than once. You know, he's only beat what, Leonard Tien, Sebastian Baez, and then you're talking ultimate tennis showdown. I don't class them. Demons beat him, Fernley's beat him, Tommy Paul, yeah, Leonard Tien, 1 win in his last 4. Cam Norrie, say what you want, 3 wins in a row, 2 in qualifying for this, and then against Dom Stricker, all of them in straight sets. He's playing very, very well. Getting Thomas Mahatch around 1.5. I don't like it. He's been struggling with his fitness over the past few months, pretty much throughout the season. Really struggled to hit the levels that he once hit over in Mexico not that long ago. Remember, we had him on the outright to take that tournament in Acapulco. 11-4 on the hard court, 2-3 on the clay. It is most definitely not his strong suit this season. 9-5 on the surface for Cam Norrie. Upset. I would not be surprised to see him pull off the upset in this one. Cam Norrie can grind you down. And Thomas Mahatch, man, once he starts getting a bit impatient, a bit frustrated, he starts putting all them balls long. The unforced errors start to seep in. That could very well happen against Cam Norrie, against a player like Cam Norrie anyway. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. At 1.5, I don't think it's cut and dry like that. I don't. He should be good for a set. Probably not going to take him for a set. The odds will be shite. I don't know, man. I think Cam Norrie, I think you'll be surprised. Most definitely could keep this one close. He's beaten once before. That was in Wimbledon a couple of years ago. I don't know. Maybe a bit of a contrarian play, but I'd just be looking at Cam Norrie for a set. I would. Not so certain that Thomas Mahatch comes out here and does him as easy as 1-2 and done. Although you could probably say at this point he probably should be, right? Well, that's going to do us anyway for Switzerland. Right then, over to Germany next. 1 sec, let me just. There we go. Very well. Right then, halfway there. Got some decent ones here. Got some big favourites as well. This shouldn't take that long looking at them. First off, Roberto Batista Agut. Big foe. Big old foe. He looked alright today. He looked fairly decent against Boo, but maybe that's not saying much. And again, Boo has looked alright lately. You know, it could have been somewhat of a banana peel for Tiafoe. He's seen that one out in the end. He looked a lot better in the second set than what he did in the first. 7-5, 6-2. Then Batista Agut getting it done against Marcus Giron. Straight sets. Tiebreaker in the first. Bageled him in the second. What is going on? Now, I couldn't tell you the last time Batista Agut put back-to-back wins together. It most certainly not in his last 10. It's dating back to the start of last month. Big foe, you know, before this he was on a 2-game losing streak. Sebastian Offner, Matteo Arnaldi. Like I said, he looked fairly decent against Boo, but so did Batista Agut against Marcus Giron. How much of that had to do with Batista Agut playing out of his skin, and how much of that had to do with Marcus Giron just shitting the bed? You tell me. This is the test, innit? This is the test, once and for all, for everyone here. Call it around 1.55, 1.6, 1.5 to 1.6, depending where you look. You take Big Foe on the money line today, just because he should be beating Roberto Batista Agut. And if he doesn't, you just take it as it's cost you whatever it's going to cost you to know for certain that this guy can't be trusted. If he can't beat Batista Agut today, and I know Big Foe is not exactly that much of a clay player, I know this, but come on, man, 15th in the world. 15th in the world, 10 years younger than him. You've got to win this. You've got to win this. Just want to say Big Foe's not much of a clay player. You're going back to 2018. Not even 2018. I mean, 10-7 last year. He hasn't put in a really impressive season on the clay since 2012. Batista Agut. So, like I say, it should be Big Foe. They played each other once in 2019 on the hard court in Cincinnati. That did go the way of the Spaniard. I'd be shocked if he pulls this one off. Like I say, can't remember the last time he won back-to-back games. So if today's the day you take Tiafoe, and it's also the day Batista Agut wants to win back-to-back games, it's just bad luck. It's just bad luck. It's not a bad call. I don't see why Batista Agut wins this. Even if he nicks a set, I can't see Tiafoe getting done in straights. The longer this match goes on, the worse it's going to get for Batista Agut, I would imagine. 1.5 to 1.6, it feels very, very tempting for Big Foe. It does. But there's something there. There is just a little bit of doubt creeping in with this one. I think, is it enough for me to stay off it? Perhaps. I don't know. I think we try and look ahead into the future. I think it might come to tomorrow and I'd be wishing I'd take this, so I might see what I can do with it. I might see what I can do. Like I said, whatever it's going to cost me if he loses that, it's a very small price to pay to be 100% certain where you stand with Tiafoe going forward. Well, at least till we get to the States anyway. But it would be Big Foe in that one. And then moving on to Yuri Lehechka, Francisco Cerundolo. Lehechka's beaten once before. That was in Wimbledon, was it? Yeah, Wimbledon 2 years ago. 6-2, 6-2, 6-2. I don't think that is going to count for much in this one. Lehechka, he struggled, man. Even though he got it done against Bonagosho, he struggled. Won that first set, dropped the second again. But looked fairly decent in the third, 6-2 to wrap it up. Now I'm happy he got a win. He's needed it. Fuck, do we know he's needed a win? But he's still not in form. He's still not there just quite yet. And although he did get a win, I feel like beating Bonagosho in 3 is one thing. Expecting him to turn up and beat this version of Francisco Cerundolo that we've seen pretty much every week for the past couple of months. You don't need me to tell you how lethal Cerundolo is on the clay. I feel like if it was on the hard court, it'd be maybe a little bit different. I'd imagine Lehechka are around those odds on this, especially at the start of the season. But things have changed considerably. 19-7 this season for Cerundolo on the clay, 2-3 for Yuri Lehechka. Now I know Lehechka is more than capable of beating Cerundolo. Quite frankly, I think he's a better player on the day. Maybe not by much. Cerundolo's just a beast. He's just an absolute beast on the clay. 1.4. It's quite a big favourite. Quite a big favourite. I think that's testament to the current state of Yuri Lehechka. I do think Cerundolo probably should be getting this one done, but I wouldn't be surprised if Lehechka just pulled off an upset. I wouldn't. It would be quite the upset too, especially on this surface, but we'll wait and see. And we will cruise on with Camillo Ugo Carabelli, Thomas Martin Etcheverry. Not one, but two decent dogs pulling off the upset today. Etcheverry, as we mentioned at the start, got it done against Comesaña. Carabelli got it done against Sebastian Baez. Unbelievable. Head to head is 6-5 to Carabelli. Nuts. They've actually never played each other on the tour. Well, at tour level. They've always been at lower level tournaments. Pretty much every one of them has been on the clay. Look, I'm not going to waste much time with this. Didn't expect either one to win today. They both played a lot better than what I expected. Now they're pitted against each other. Two Argentinians again. So maybe they're training partners, maybe they're just good friends. Maybe they're quite familiar with each other's game. I'm not too sure. 6-5 on the head-to-head. What can you do with that? Getting Echeverri around 1.7. He's a lot more proven. He is a lot more proven. But, I don't know. Thought Commissani looked very, very passive today. Sebastian Baez is in a bit of a skid at the moment as well, so can't take a lot out of either one of the wins for these two. Don't know, flip a coin. Heads for Carabelli, tails for Echeverri. Do with that what you will. Probably goes to these sets. I imagine the levels will fluctuate quite some in that one. And then next up, we've got Davidovich Fokina, Flavio Cobolli. This is another one. Head-to-head is 2-1 to the Italian. Beat him twice last year, both on the hard court. You'd probably fancy Flavio Cobolli on the clay as well if he's going to do him on the hard court, but Davidovich Fokina's 1.5 as a favourite. Now, I don't know what I expected as far as the price, but I don't think it was that. Maybe I expected it to be a little bit closer. Thought he looked alright against Monfils, but you know how much is that exactly saying? On the clay, Monfils ain't too great, we all know that. Flavio Cobolli, he done well against Sachko. As we mentioned, that could have been the banana peel. He did drop a set. Sachko looked good, man. He does tend to play well. He operates good on the clay anyway. Safe to say, I expected both of them to win, and both of them did, regardless of how they went about it. I don't know who wins this. I would probably just look at an over. I think both of them are more than capable of beating one another on the day. Quite a contrast in styles too. I know I like the over, you know. I do. Over 22.5, that seems to be the sweet spot. You get a decent price for that more often than not. I couldn't pick a side. I honestly couldn't pick a side. Davidovich Fokina, that game he had in Rome just before coming to Hamburg against Jesper de Jong, one of the worst I've seen, if not the worst I've seen all season. Actually, I don't know. Was it that, or was it the Dimitrov and Alex Demonor? I'm not too sure. But yeah, it was really bad. And it put me off taking him against Monfils, and I'm still not ready to go anywhere near him. I wouldn't mind Flavio Cobolli either which way. Take him for a set on the points or something. I don't know, maybe just take him to win on the money line. It's a decent dog. It's not a bad dog. And then we've got two massive favourites and then another two. So do we do the favourite? Yeah, we'll just do these favourites now. Look, we've got Rublev, Justin Engel, 1.08 for Rublev. You can't lose. I said take Justin Engel on the points against Struff. That seemed very easy. I was not surprised to see him just win that the way he did. He's not beating Rublev. Surely he's not beating Rublev. Like, unless the crowd gets so much on this kid's side that Rublev just breaks down. He's got tears in his eyes again because he can't deal with it. I can't see it happen. There's just levels. Sheer levels. These could be playing anywhere in the world, and I feel like the results will be the exact same. Rublev gets that one done. And pretty much the same goes for this next one. You've got Zverev, Alexander Muller. I said at the start of the weekend it remains the same, although we have got the French Open coming up. Who comes close to Zverev in this tournament? Who comes close to Zverev this week? I'm not so sure. I think he definitely gets past Alexander Muller. Beat him twice before. One was fairly recently too. Munich on the clay, 6-4, 6-1. Rinse and repeat. Zverev in straight sets. And then we've got these two. So we've got Luciano Darderi and Brandon Nakashima. I'd lean towards Darderi on this one. I would. Never played each other before. You get a decent price for them, 1.7. Beenach definitely favoured from that the retirement of Rafael Collignon after that first set, so he'll be definitely nice and rested for this. Darderi put in a good one against the Dora Palomero. How much can you take from that? And nonetheless, he did look good. He really did. 6-1, 6-4. Now, you don't need me to tell you Beenach is going to be quite the step up in opponents as opposed to the Dora the Explorer. 6-6 on the clay for Nakashima, 15-9 for Darderi. He's quite the specialist, is he not? Quite the clay court specialist. He loves it. Basically made out of clay. Plays well too, man. He can play really good. We've seen him put in some solid performances so far this season. I think he should beat Brandon Nakashima. At the very least, he should win a set. He should win a set. I do think this is definitely upsettable. He could definitely pull off somewhat of an upset here. Could be enough. I wouldn't put it past him. It's not entirely out of the question. Coming up against Darderi on his favoured surface, though. I mean, this is just the type of tournament for Luciano to go on a nice little run. Is it not? Think Beenach beats him? You think he keeps it close? I don't know. 1.7, 1.8. That is very close. Could go either way. You pay your money and you take your choice. I would take Luciano Darderi just for the one set and play it safe as a nice little parlay piece. And then we'll wrap this shit up with probably two of the most untrustworthy guys in the world at the moment. We've got Gio and Pechi Pericard and Felix Auger-Aliassime. Got a French guy versus a somewhat not so but kind of French guy. I thought Felix looked decent against Daniel Altmaier. Well, wouldn't you just know it as well? It's always the way, It's always the way with this guy. They've played each other once before. That was last year over on the indoor hard court. That went the way of Gio, 6-1 and a tiebreak. He looked decent against Bublik, continuing his win streak after taking the title over in Bordeaux. Straight sets against Bublik. Tiebreaker in the first. Obviously there's going to be a tiebreaker pretty much all the time with this guy. And then 6-4 in the second. Felix 6-3, 6-3 against Altmaier. Could have been worse, could have been a lot harder for him, but he managed to hang in there. Solid. Can't say too much. You can't take too much from that because he should be beating Daniel Altmaier. He needed a win. Snapped that horrendous losing streak. He was on a 5-game skid coming into this tournament. And the odds are pretty much the same in this as what they were against Altmaier. We're getting Felix around 1.6. Better player. So much better than Gio on the day in every way apart from the serve. But as is the case with Pechi Pericard, if he's just going to serve well, there is not a lot anyone can do as far as a return goes anyway. Taking over, take a tiebreak at a price like that. Maybe look at Gio. First set handicap, first set spread, something like that, plus 1.5. I can see him dragging this one out. He probably even beats him. I can see him getting the upset here. It wouldn't be that much of an upset to me, but quite like Gio. I really do. Complete opposite opponent from Daniel Altmaier. It's alright, running him off the court, bullying the smaller guy, but coming up against Gio and all that power, how is Felix going to respond to that? He should have enough. He should be getting it done if Felix is who he thinks he is and who we all assume him to be. He probably should get it done. But I imagine we would have said something similar last time out. And couldn't even win a set. Tough one with Gio, man. It's tough. I always say you put money on this guy, whether he plays good, whether he wins or whether he loses. You could bet on this guy knowing that he's going to win, and it'd still be a hard watch. So do your due diligence with this one, folks. I'd approach it with severe caution. And with that being said, that's going to do us. Took a little bit longer than I expected. It's going to take fucking ages to get uploaded. This usually does take about an hour or two to get fully uploaded. It's 1 in the morning for those that care. I don't know, we'll see what time it goes up. But anyway, folks, I'll be saying good night to you. That's going to do it. Let me know what you're going for, best bets, all that stuff. Don't be shy. Share with the group. We all like winners. And I'm going for will be pinned. If it's pinned, it's pinned. If it's not, it's not. Take it easy then. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Like and subscribe. Okay then. Let's go get that cash, yeah. Enjoy the matches today, and I'll see you tomorrow.